Hi guys, this is a short video just to get you started with the object-oriented programming task sets, and this is task set 1. I'm just going to show you how to set up your Eclipse environment or any other IDE that you're using. Okay, so we're going to be creating a student class file in these exercises. And this just means you're creating a family of code. Okay, it's like a recipe for students. So I'm going to show you how to do that in this quick video. The first thing I'm going to do is go to Eclipse, and I've been working on loads of different projects. I'm just going to set up a new Java project. I'm going to call it OOPTaskSet1. And I think that's all I need to do, and finish. So now I have a new project environment, OOPTaskSet1. I don't have any files in it at the moment, so let's do that now. File, new class. Now the first file that I'm going to create is my main method. Okay, and I'm going to call this what shall I call it? OOPTask. Can I just call it task set 1 as well? I don't know. The use of the default blah blah blah. Let's see if that works. So remember, this is the main. This is where the main method is going to be. Yes, it worked. OOP task set 1. And here I've got my main method. So later, as you will see, we should be able to do something like this. Student bill equals new student, and then we're going to pass into the student object any data that we need to pass in. So for example, a name, an age, and a GPA. Now at the moment, of course, we get an error because Java doesn't know this student data type. I haven't created it, and at the moment it doesn't exist. So this code is useless. I'm just going to get rid of it for now. Let's go back to the task set. Create a new class file called student. Remember, this will not require a main method. That's very important. So back to Eclipse, File, New Class. This is going to be the student class. Student. It is not a main program. No. So don't tick that. Finish. Excellent! We have a student class. This is where we are going to define every student. It's like a student recipe book. That's all it is. Okay? And let's go back to the tasks. Create 5 class variables. A string to store the name, an integer to store the age, an integer to store the first student test score, an integer to store the second student test score, and an integer to store the third. So these are class variables. Okay? Class variables are a string to store the name, an integer to store the age, a integer to store the first test score. I'm going to call that score 1. Another integer to store the second test score, and another integer to store the third test score. So those are my class variables. That's all we've got. Brilliant. Create the following constructor method. Now remember, the constructor method has the same name as the data type. So if you called your class file the student class, then your constructor method needs to have the same name. So public student, string, integer. Okay. Public student, string A, integer B, integer C, integer D, and integer E. And then we'll have some curly brackets. So this is my constructor method. Brilliant. Okay, so that's that part done. Write some code that will assign these values to an appropriate class variable. Okay. So name will be equal to this string variable a. So I'm assigning whatever this is, it will be stored in the name variable inside the object. And the age will be assigned the second value that's being passed into the object, which is this thing called b, int b. Score 1 will be the next one. Score 2 will be the next one. And score 3 will be assigned this final integer here, which is coming in at the end of the list. These are parameters, by the way. So this is my constructor method. Finished! Done! Now, just to prove to you that this is going to work, I'm going to go to back to the task set, back to my main program, and I'm going to construct a new student object. Student bill equals new student. So here's the constructor method, and it requires, let's just remind ourselves, the constructor method needs a string and 5 and 4 integers. Remember, this is the age, this is score 1, this is score 2, and this is score 3. So the first thing that we're going to pass is the age, bill. The next one, sorry, the name. The next one is the age. The next one is score 1. The next one is score 2. And the next one is score 3. He did really badly in score 3. Now, system.out.println bill, which is our reference variable, dot age. Will that work? Well, let's run this thing and just see. If I just pull this up. Pew! 17. Okay. So we have successfully managed to construct a new student object. We've passed in some data, and that data in the recipe file, in the class file, that data that's coming in has been assigned to the class variables. Now the data is safely stored in the object. Okay? So you're free now to continue with the task set.